Can I talk about the lawnmower 7.8?
You can talk about whatever you want, dude.
Thank you. What's up, viewers? It's your boy Evan Harrell here to introduce the lawnmower 7.8 on camera example.
What did they improve that got it to 0.8?
I don't know. It's not a real, but it's always like I feel like every 6 months or like 3 months there's like a new the 4.0. I think they're at the 5.0 now.
Yeah, they're trying to get it like phones, where like every year you'll re-up and get the next one.
But is like the 7 version gonna like just do everything for me?
Yeah,
Just
you can
AI?
you can play Doom on it.
Yeah.
You can
Fortnite dance.
Yeah, you can circle search.
Yeah.
Things on it. It's got a camera built in.
Soon I'll be able to play Raid Shadow Legends on the 7.8 lawnmower.
Yeah. It'll toast hot dogs.
Yeah.
That would be wild crazy.
Oh my god. For all the viewers on YouTube, they're going to get a in-person demonstration of how to use the 7.8 lawnmower when it comes out.
No, we would get flagged immediately. They'd be like, you can't put this on.
I'm just prepping us for in 3 months when they jump 3 editions and we get an actual sponsorship.
Yeah, or no, never mind. I was going to say we could do the thing where, have you seen that like people are including fake babies into their Instagram posts to be able to post boobs?
No. What?
And in regards to it being like breastfeeding?
I have not. That's crazy.
Oh my god. I was going to say
where are they? Not just kidding.
Yeah, well anyway. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Save Scummers, your weekly video game conversation. I'm your host, Benjamin Scott. Joining me, as always, is Evan Harrell.
What up?
Yeah, we're messing around with some new mics today, so I'll make sure it's all fixed up in post.
Huge.
Don't you worry.
Yeah, for all the people watching on YouTube, you're going to see me fidget crazy hard.
Why? Just because you have to hold a mic now?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what approach to do, you know?
Yeah.
I do the Shane Gillis classic.
Yeah.
I do this every time I talk.
Yeah, but the good news is you don't have a thing in your face anymore.
This is true.
You know? You can really express yourself.
Yeah.
You can let the body language do the talking.
Absolutely.
The show is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. New episodes published every Monday at 12 p.m. EST or Eastern Standard Time, if you don't like the, acronym? Like, subscribe, follow, click the bell, whatever you got to do to be with us every week and hang out. Now, Evan, I got to talk to you about something.
Oh, he's got to talk. He's talking.
I'm surprised you're able to pull me away from the PS5. The Stellar Blade demo is out.
Yeah.
And I checked it out.
Have you beat it? You done the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, I haven't messed around with a lot of those demos that, where the save carries over. Typically, I just want to wait. But with Stellar Blade, I was like, you know what? I just want to check it out to see what it's all about before I take the plunge off hype.
Yeah.
And all of the reasons why it has hype are all there.
Yeah.
I've played it, beat it. After I got done, I was like, I'm just going to take this off of my PlayStation because otherwise, it's like if you play it once, okay.
Yeah.
But if you get caught playing it multiple times, that's sus.
I really like this level.
Yeah.
The level design is incredible.
Yeah. But, you play through like kind of like a small mission base where general enemies are around, and it feels a little like Devil May Cry-ish, or maybe like a Nier Automata, which I've not played, but akin to that, like an action game. And almost think Final Fantasy 16.
Okay.
Like that kind of like you walk into an area, there's a bunch of enemies, you fight, but then, and it did have like you want to be like your perfect parries and perfect dodges and stuff like that, because it is a Souls-like, which is funny because this is going to be not the first Souls-like that I've played.
Yeah.
But it'll be the first Souls game that I think I'll actually play and finish, which is wild.
Nice.
Sus.
That's dope. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
what's the reason
that this is the one? Bro. It's fun. It's weird because like typically like I wouldn't even make a point about it because it's so ridiculously over the top with like there's jiggle physics.
Yeah.
Everyone's got the heavies walking around with wagons on them. Like it's crazy.
They got the whole bakery back there.
Yes. Yeah. and it's I mean, but like also it's like a really cool premise. Are you familiar with the premise?
No.
Basically, Earth, people took off. Civilization left Earth, and it like fell into ruin.
Oh.
And they're coming back to reclaim it. And Eve, the main character, is one soldier in a squadron that is one of many squadrons, all coming back to Earth to try to reclaim it.
Okay.
And it's an interesting enough premise. And she has like a cool like drone dude that flies around with her.
That's pretty cool.
But I mean, you don't get too much except for like a sense of the combat and the basic premise.
Yeah, because those are some big plot points. Like, why did humanity leave? Then why are we coming back?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot to unpack, and it sounds really cool. And I'm definitely still going to check it out.
Nice.
But it's funny because it might be the game that gets me to finally like go back to Elden Ring, go play Bloodborne. I don't know if I'm going to go all the way back to like Demon Souls, but we'll see how it goes.
You could skip that and be fine. I mean,
yeah. The closest thing to a Souls like that I've actually played and beat was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which to me was like light.
Yeah.
This seems like a little bit more like it has difficulty settings. So there is a story difficulty setting like if you don't want to. But I'm of the mind like once you start you can't dial it back.
Yeah, you should commit.
Yes. So I'm definitely going to play on normal or whatever the intended experience is and just
It comes
try
out
my luck.
soon, right?
Yeah, April 26th, 2 days before my birthday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's the end of April. Dang, I thought it was like middle. I
Yeah,
thought it was
no.
like fairly close.
Yeah, no, well, we'll get to what we're playing later, but I've got some downtime now, so
Nice.
I'm pretty juiced. But yeah, if you're out there and you've got a PS5 and are at all interested in playing Stellar Blade, go check it out. But
The juice is loose.
you beat it once, you better delete it.
Yeah. The missus is going to be like, wow, you've been playing this game for a year. Haven't asked for any other video games. So why is that?
Didn't even buy it, just
Yeah.
playing the demo over and over.
Yeah.
It's wild, but you think you're going to check out Stellar Blade, at least download the demo?
I can.
Yeah.
I mean, I can because it won't take that long.
Yeah, no,
The
and
demo.
it takes maybe 40 minutes to play through.
Then, yeah. That could be
Yeah.
done in like one night.
Yeah, that's how it went for me.
Yeah.
I set it to download and came home and played it and beat it within like 40 minutes or something.
Nice.
Maybe an hour. But it's cool.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit? The Borderlands Gearbox 2K Embracer situation is pretty wild.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, Embracer sold. Well, to give some context, Embracer is this like game conglomerate or like this entity that or publisher that like started scooping up and acquiring all of these game studios, almost to a point where that we were like wondering what's going on. And if I remember correctly, like because we were wondering where's the money coming from, and at one point, if I remember correctly, the like Saudi royal family was going to give them an injection of money, but I think they looked at their business, like everything they had acquired before that, and bailed out on giving them money, and they had bit off more than they can chew, and they were the Embracer was relying on that money coming in, and so they've been selling off portions of what they've purchased, and the latest one being Gearbox Entertainment. The makers of Borderlands, and they sold to Take-Two or 2K. What? Some people refer to it as 2K, but it's Take-Two.
I've always referred to it as 2K.
Really?
Because the symbol is 2 and a K.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is actually Take-Two.
Yeah.
But, yeah, their symbol, their logo is 2K, so, like,
yeah,
it's weird.
And I've seen it my whole life. I even think the 2K NBA games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
2K published. But it's not Take-Two 24.
Kobe edition.
The Kobe edition. Yeah.
It's crazy that Embracer did what Microsoft wanted to. Essentially, they've been doing it this whole time of just buying up everything they can, and that's literally what Xbox was wanting to do and then got shut down.
Yeah. Well,
not really shut down, but...
Yeah, Xbox bought all the ones that's like, if you try to buy anything else, then they're really going to be, then the conversation about monopoly or whatever that could be, that's really opening up. For the most part, I think Microsoft has to chill out. But Embracer was buying more like THQ Nordic and like small teams doing it's like they were buying a lot of like AA kind of studios. I know we talked about that a lot. Probably to make inexpensive games and make a decent rip off of them from people like me that really have like a weird soft spot for like mid-tier budget games. But as somebody, like, we're playing through Borderlands currently together because I never really got a chance to experience it, but you're way more familiar. Do you have faith in that because there also is the news that Borderlands 4 is in development. Do you have more faith in Take-Two being the publisher rather than Embracer Group?
Well, Take-Two produced, I mean, it's weird because like Embracer, I think we talked about like the time frame. It was only after Borderlands 3, right? So Take-Two has published everything from Gearbox.
I think before. Even Tiny Tina's. I don't know that for certain, but I feel like it.
Or at least where it was in the stages where it was like basically done before they acquired. So I have faith. I think I think Tiny Tina's was reviewed pretty well. And I think with Borderlands 4 they're going to rectify some of the mistakes that they made in 3.
Okay.
I get it's a brand new story. Well, it'll be interesting. Do they reinvent the wheel? Like, because 1 and 2 are very much connected. Same with oh my god, the other one, the pre-sequel. Yeah, so those 3 are all connected, and then Borderlands is kind of like a new generation, new era. So is that going to be their version of 1? And then Borderlands 4 will be the new 2 and be like unbelievably groundbreaking, where they improve on every aspect. They made some like not dumb financial decisions, but they made some dumb DLC decisions.
Okay.
And I think people did speak with their wallets and, just downvoting it to all hell on Steam and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that with the knowledge of stuff like Starfield and Cyberpunk and stuff like that, they won't fall into those pit traps. That's the biggest thing, because this is going to be a AAA game. And it's like, okay, are you going to make the same mistake as what we've seen? Because Borderlands games are like, they take like 6 to 8 years. They're not as crazy big as like the Rockstar. The GTA is not that long, but still pretty sizable.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, I'm learning.
Yeah.
Like
I think it was 8 years almost between Borderlands 1 and 2.
Wow.
Or pretty damn close to that, which is crazy to think.
Yeah.
But they improved on every single aspect.
Huh.
So it was worth.
Yeah. Well, can I ask you a question really quick?
Yeah.
When it comes to Borderlands 3, what were the pitfalls?
It was hard to follow the villain that 2 produced.
Okay.
Because it produced, through writing and story development, a charming sociopath. That when you get to the final end, you see somebody. It's just crazy. You're presented with an evil person, but there's shreds of humanity, and you can sympathize with that.
Yeah, like an anti-hero.
Yeah, and you can see what damage has been done to the people that he has loved, why he did it, and just what that evolved the person into.
Got you. Okay.
And for a looter shooter, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's like Witcher level writing, or just like single player level writing in a looter shooter.
Okay.
And you can tell with the new villains, they tried to grasp that, but they fell short. It's not bad by any means. It just isn't that.
Heard. Okay.
And then they added some weird like Battle Royale DLC, and everybody was like, but why? Which is fair. This is like, why?
Did you play it?
Not the Battle Royale thing.
Okay.
That was.
Did it look bad?
Yeah, it also was like $20 or something, and it's just like, why?
Yeah.
And then they had like these $10 skins where all the other ones were like $10 for a DLC and a skin.
Yeah. So when I think back to when Borderlands 3 came out, that's kind of a weird decision because Battle Royales, the great thing about them is that they're typically free to play.
Yeah.
And if you have it price gated by not only the game, but by the $20 expansion, like so not a lot of people are going to spend $80 to play Borderlands Battle Royale.
And it was weird because like they implemented their looter shooter stuff, but I don't know, it just didn't really work out. And it's weird because like the pre-sequel was seen as a sidestep, and this is the same thing. Now granted, to be fair, and we've talked about this, is it fair to compare Borderlands 3 to its predecessors like in the past, or I think that's the right word, right? Yeah.
What predecessors in the past?
Yeah.
So yeah, because the successor is the follow-up.
So so is it fair to compare Borderlands 3 to 1 and 2? I mean, I would say yes, because it's like the continuation of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think people were expecting it to be as big, and it definitely wasn't. It wasn't bad. I would say it's probably like a solid 8.
Okay.
So it's not the 10 out of 10 that 2 is.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
But I also haven't played all the DLC at the end of 3.
Yeah. We'll get to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But
also, unfortunately, you have the people, and we've discussed some of the diehard fans who tend to be a little bit scared of diversity. Some of that played in.
What do you mean?
There's a relationship in the game. There's a really cool character, and even though it was mentioned into what their sexuality is, it's developed more in 3.
Oh, and so people were like, Borderlands is woke.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 4chan dudes.
Yeah. Which is a shame.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, dude.
Exactly.
That's the funny thing is like, you ever hear the statistic that most the developers and publishers have telemetry that suggests that most players will actually switch their graphics mode to resolution.
Really?
Yeah. And so when a game comes out that its performance mode is trash or whatever, and everybody's raging online, the studios tend to not really care because most people don't give a fuck. And so what you're saying reminds me of like the kind of like the microcosm we're in of like the people that are online complaining and having the conversation are such a vocal minority that like it's why like the more as I distanced myself from social media and then kept listening to podcasts where they would talk about what was happening on social media, it was like like we all know that like what the Twitter user base is less than like 1% of the of like the world's population. Yeah. So it's like, who cares what anybody is saying on Twitter? But people talk about it like it's like, and it's funny to think about like PR teams having to respond and community managers having to do all this shit, basically just to get people to shut up. Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah, and I just looked because I was curious. So the like standing grade for Borderlands 3 is 9 out of 10 on Steam and 81% for Metacritic. Yeah. I think the biggest issue it has is, like I said, it couldn't capture the gold that was with the villain, and then the DLC fell short.
Oh, okay.
Because for the time, I mean, $3 you get a skin and a head, and then, you know, like $10 for a headhunter pack, which was like a level. You'd fight a boss or two, and you'd still get a skin and a head. That's really worth.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to seeing what Borderlands 3 looks like. You know, because I remember the time when it was coming out. Yeah. And like seeing some brief gameplay, like there's like 2 minutes that I saw. Yeah. And I'm wondering, like I played a decent amount of 2, but it's been a really long time, and I played on 360. And we're playing through the Game of the Year edition now on PS5, but it's a PS4 game. And it looks, oh no worries, it looks good, but I'm like, with the cell shading.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about it.
Yeah, like that how does it evolve?
I mean, it's just deeper, more richer colors. It's still cell shaded through and through, which is one of the things I was telling you about, where because IGN did a review, or not a review, but they got the head art director for the first Borderlands.
Okay.
And saying how, years of development for this art style, and then at the last possible minute to switch the art style, they did.
Yeah.
Because they wanted it to just not be as bland and gray as they would like Fallout 3.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And they wanted just more color and
Yeah.
pop, and they went with the cell shaded. And it's iconic to that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
That art style is associated with Borderlands.
100%.
So it's like they did a smart thing.
Yeah.
Sucks for that person that put all these years in and was at the head of the ship.
Yeah.
Only to be told, yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because when I think of cell shading, I think Wind Waker, Killer 7,
yeah,
Okami, and Borderlands.
yeah,
Like those are the.
and it ages very well.
Yeah.
So all they did, they just like saturated the colors more, just like upped its pigments.
Different environments, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but at its core, it's still very much cell shaded. Like the particle effects on some of the weapons are probably snazzier.
Oh, okay, cool.
Definitely like fire elemental effects.
Yeah.
Like you've seen with Borderlands, like the lightning bolts. It's like a stationary burst of lightning on the ground. You can tell it's as if someone like dragged and dropped.
Yes.
Like a thing. It's pretty, but when you see the lightning effects in like 2 and 3, you'll be like, oh wow, that's a lot better.
Tiny Tina's will be interesting.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But I guess like, yeah, it feels like probably like a coming home moment for Gearbox.
Yeah.
To kind of, it probably sucks to get passed around a whole lot.
Yeah.
And kind of feel like you're in like a limbo state with production for what you're working on. But I'm sure that now that they're with 2K or Take-Two, that they'll feel better.
Ultimately, I have faith. Even though Randy Pitchford is a questionable individual, he has led the ship to what it is now.
Yeah.
So there should be some credit due there. And
Cool shirts.
Yeah, I have not heard any real complaints or seen anything with their work culture.
Okay.
If anything, I think they are like very generous with their bonuses and stuff like that. Maybe I'm wrong and there was something around Borderlands 3 that happened, or maybe it didn't hit its mark. I don't know, but I feel like it was the opposite of that. It was like only good news.
Okay.
So,
all right.
But I mean, we'll see ultimately. Like I said, it just sucks. These companies, we've seen it with these newer games. They're always trying to grab the lightning in the bottle, but at this point, it's all used up. And everybody's tired of it. Or they just never wanted it to begin with.
Yeah.
So
you're talking about Borderlands 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in hopes of they're not going to repeat the mistakes of 3, and they're also just not going to try to be something they're not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And hopefully the publisher kind of lets them just like make the Borderlands game that what it needs to be. And not try to like tack on battle royale modes and stuff like that.
It should be at its core, like it always is, a game and then 4 DLCs.
Yeah.
And that's what it always has been, and it's worked. And it's good. It gives players plenty of stuff to play after and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
how quick after a game comes out are you cool with the DLC coming out?
I would prefer within the first 3 months.
Okay. Yeah. See, I totally agree with that. Like, it's shitty because remember when like day 1 DLC would drop and everybody complained about it? Like,
because you knew they just cut up the game.
Yeah. But like, I would argue, like, I don't know what the wait time is, but after a game comes out, by the time I beat it, if I have to put that game away and move on to other stuff and eventually come back to it, I feel like I almost have to start the game from the beginning again, because you have to go through the whole like rigmarole of remembering what's going on and how you play and what you have that late in the game, and so like I almost feel like a month later maybe put it out, and just to get people back in. And it's funny because like that probably is a hot take, like whatever your DLC is, like get it out soon. But who knows with development times now? It seems like as soon as a game's ready, it goes gold, and then they put it out.
Yeah. Well, and I actually saw this one person, I don't know how much insight, this is just an internet thing, but it sounded like a sound idea, is that like the common person isn't aware when a project like a video game is being made, there's all these milestones, and you have to, as the developer, have really good reason for the shareholders and the publisher to push it back.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And if it's meeting like the bare minimum criteria at this month in the lifetime or this point, they're not going to say, yeah, let's extend it.
Yeah.
It's like the only reason why games do get delayed is like there's some big fucking problems that weren't addressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
The amount of money they'll lose outweighs putting it off. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I think, and that's what I'm going to do with like Atomic Heart, because there's 4 DLCs coming. The second one is out, but I'm probably just not going to touch it until the other 2.
Yeah.
I don't want to really come back to it every 3 or 4 months just to play like a 10-hour, 15-hour DLC.
Yeah.
So, and there's other endings in the game, so that'll give me the opportunity to pursue that and then just finish out.
DLC, 15 hours.
I feel like that's what
that could be a whole game.
The first one, and that's what. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed because the trailer. There's a couple trailers out on the internet, and Atomic Heart was supposed to have like zombies and stuff. It looked really wild, and like that's not in the game.
Yeah,
it was supposed to genuinely, I think, be more of a horror survival game, and it went more with the action.
Okay,
which is fine. It's more like BioShock in terms of action, which I do really like.
Yeah,
but you can do a whole lot of cool horror stuff with not a dystopian, but a future where the CCP is the reigning champion of the Cold War, and they're like the lead on every scientific innovation. A lot of cool stuff you can do with that. But
alternate history is rad. Yeah, that's cool.
So I think maybe they chopped it up for the DLCs, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I heard the second one was like kind of a head scratcher, like a WTF, what is this? It wasn't good, but we'll see. There's still 2 more.
Yeah. Okay.
Same with the 16 DLC.
Oh, yeah. See?
Because the new one comes out soon, like Leviathan or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's still another one.
Yeah. That's the Final Fantasy 16 DLC is a great example of like, I'm not going back to that game now.
Okay.
Like, my time with that game is over. That should have come out a month after.
Okay.
But like the thing is like it could have not been ready.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's like, okay, if there are people out there that are in the amount of people that want to buy this justify putting it out that much later, and who knows, maybe I'm the minority that I don't know. It's just like I feel like I spent however 60 hours with that game or 80 hours, whatever it was, and I'm like, yeah, no, my time with that.
And you and I have followed 16 closely, and I'd be willing to bet that the 2 DLCs we're going to see they were pieces of bread in the oven, but they weren't fully cooked. But because Square Enix didn't make the money it wanted to, that's what these are.
Yeah, got you.
That I'm willing to bet that it's like, okay, look, you have these half-complete ideas. Let's finish them up and see if we can incorporate them to squeeze out a little bit more money because of how expensive it was to make.
Yeah, and I get the impression with them that the DLCs take place in the middle of the story.
Okay.
Like they're not after the events of the story. They're like look backs because like in the advertisements, like, shit, I don't want to spoil anything, but there are characters present that you're like, well, how's this happening?
See, and that sucks based on the ending.
Yeah.
Of 16. That actually really sucks.
Yeah. So I don't think you get any extension. And that's where I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm good with what the story is. I don't need more.
So that kind of furthers my point then. Maybe it was these little offshoots that they were thinking of doing. And
totally.
They cut it out and we're like, no, we're going to close it here. But then they're like, maybe we could do something with this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They're like side stories.
Yeah.
That were probably chunks of the game, like you said, that just got
because that's one of the things that was so confusing with the first Atomic Heart DLC is it actually is canonical depending on one of the 2 endings you do.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, so based on the ending that I did, it didn't make any sense until I was halfway through it and I was like, oh, this is what these characters are acting this way if I would have done X.
Yeah.
So
it's weird when developers make a choice and go, actually, this is the canon choice. We're just going with that.
Yeah.
It's kind of because like if what your playthrough is or what do they call it, head canon?
Yeah.
When your head canon is a different way than what the developers decide to go with, that probably feels like the experience you had is ruined.
And I love Atomic Heart. I think it's a great game.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It is the most satisfying thing to shoot lightning out of your hand while you're one arm wielding an AK-47.
Yeah, that
and
does
then
sound
this
badass.
Doom Eternal heavy, the dude that made the Doom music,
Mick Gordon?
Yeah, he did,
Cool.
and it's super bassy, intense synth. It's really,
Hell yeah.
and you're dashing and just constantly shooting an AK-47, like it's sick.
Yeah, that's dope.
It's
Hell
a
yeah.
very nice mix of BioShock and like Doom.
Yeah. We'll get to it later, but I've got Doom and
Hell
I've
yeah.
never played it.
Damn, I never played Doom Eternal, but I played that one.
Yeah. I want to play Doom Eternal too.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I have to play the first one before I can allow myself to buy Eternal.
Yeah.
But see, now I could probably just get Game Pass for a month and play it and
Game
move on
Pass.
with my life. But yeah, the topic of the show this week that I'm gonna pull up because I wrote a little blurb. Ooh, cracking open a cold one.
Cracking open the sponsorship deal.
Oh, wait for it. That was a tight, like puckering sound.
Yeah.
It made.
I was getting a little scared if my finger couldn't handle the job to
Yeah, I was
peel the tab.
wondering if that was going to go splashing and
Yeah.
sloshing
I
everywhere.
was like, I'm about to be buying Ben a new mic.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that expensive if you ever had to. So, the topic of the show this week is imagining a world without Xbox. And the reason that is the topic of the show is that following the Game Developers Conference this year, reports started popping up sharing that certain developers don't know why they still support Xbox due to the flatlining sales. Then Xbox boss Phil Spencer shared during an interview that research on Gen Z is why they're changing their strategy to include multi-platform publishing. The landscape seems to be priming for an Xbox console-less future, but rumors of Xbox working on a handheld system would seem to refute this speculation. Could building a handheld to compete with Steam save Xbox? What if the reports of Sony developing a native handheld are true as well? With that, kick it over to Evan. Do you think Xbox is going away anytime soon?
I'm going to say no just because of Windows.
Yeah.
And all the PC manufacturing and software that they have. I mean, that's one of the things that just astounds me as why they haven't revamped Xbox and Microsoft with they have such a large foot in the door with PC gaming.
Yeah.
And then they also have an equally large foot in the door, 1/3, if not like bigger, because Nintendo's market share is not 50%.
Yeah.
Probably close, but Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo would be the big three. I just don't know why they haven't revamped and combined both of their foots into just their own brainchild.
Yeah.
Or just something that can't be rivaled. I mean, Nintendo is not going to compete in their space. Sony is not going to compete in that space. Again, they don't really need to compete with Steam in terms of like the ecosystem. They need to compete with it in terms of like hardware.
Yeah.
Which they definitely could at any time.
Yeah. It's weird because with Xbox, like they really could be a full-on just publisher of games and move into that, and I could see that happening. However, when you think about, because the way that things have been going is that you sell a console at a loss and you make up for it with software sales, and that's probably still a strategy that works. I mean, they have a weird thing with making hardware for Xbox where it must do well because they sell controllers like crazy. Yeah. They're always pumping out different kinds of controllers. And it's probably because they're making money just hand over fist every time someone buys a new pink controller or something. But
$70.
I think that while they could continue to grow Game Pass Ultimate, like, or PC Game Pass, to become this place or like an arm of their Xbox division that just is scooping up money. But I think that if you don't cater to the casual that wants a console at a reasonable price, that's where things get tough. But their consoles are just not. I think, what is it, like 3-to-1 like just comparing PlayStation to Xbox. I think at this point, don't quote me on that. I don't know that for certain, but it's a really bad margin. They're definitely in last place, and so they have to, I mean, do what they've been doing, which is try to reinvent the rules that everybody plays by.
So are they saying Gen Z doesn't play games anymore?
No, what they're saying is that
Or they just want mobility?
Gen Z seems to appreciate
Portability?
being able to play games wherever you can access them.
Okay.
So, like, if you, like, they seem to, like, gravitate towards, like, mobile and tablets and things where it doesn't matter what brand device you're using. If you can access the Google Play Store or the Apple Game Store or the Apple Arcade and get access to these games like Genshin Impact and all these things is probably what they're looking at. They just don't seem to care about where they're playing. And so I guess they're looking at a generation of people that will play the game wherever and or play the game, that want to play the game where they choose to be. And so I guess, I mean, it's one of those weird things where it's like, yeah, of course.
I would
like,
say that's true, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess like people probably like a little younger than me and older have weird allegiances to brands.
Yeah.
Where like, yeah, I definitely gravitate towards PlayStation, but it literally comes down to growing up playing like Sly Cooper and Ratchet and Clank and stuff like that, and trophies. Like platinum trophies. Like they just made an ecosystem I prefer to be in. But I don't want to see Xbox not be out there. Like I have great memories with Halo and Gears of War. Yeah. And I mean, sure, if you're going to put those on PlayStation, yeah, I'll never buy another Xbox.
Yeah.
But, you know, also I have a PC. I could just play. Well, that's the weird thing. Certain Gears of War games I don't think are available on PC. So that kind of makes things tricky.
Yeah, and that's what Xbox, it's so weird. They like half do stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and they made like Gears Tactics that like nobody fucking asked for.
Yeah, I own it. I started playing it and I was like, oh, this is cool, but it's not my favorite turn-based game like that.
But you know how many people would have probably just wanted another Gears?
Yeah.
Than that.
Yeah.
And then they have some like mobile game, which is like Funko Pop heads or something. And
oh,
it's just
yeah.
Like,
dude. Yeah, that was rough.
Wouldn't be surprised, though, with Gen Z and the other generations. I mean, you look at them, they're growing up on Fortnite and Call of Duty.
Yeah, and Minecraft.
And it kind of goes back to one of the things we said is there is a vast amount of people that will play 3 multiplayer games and call it a day.
Yeah.
They'll play. I mean, I'm nosy, so when I look at some people's profiles when I lost an Overwatch match, I'm like, what is this person doing with their life? What other games are they playing?
Yeah.
Why did I just get my ass beat? And it's like, nope, they just playing Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Weird. I couldn't imagine playing it day in and day out.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Call of Duty and Fortnite.
Yeah.
So
Rocket League.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got those buddies. That's all they care to do.
Maybe that's what Xbox is like, dang, we can just milk these people. Or this is the audience we need to be going for. Yeah.
Because I would say that the reason everybody I talk to that's like still playing and buying Xboxes, it's because they like it depends on the choice you made at the PS4 Xbox One generation. If you stuck with Xbox into the Xbox One generation, you have your 360 digital library. If you were buying digital games on 360 at the time, you've got your Xbox One library and now your Series library. And if they stop making consoles and say, sorry, you got to buy either our handheld, if they make a handheld, or build a PC. Yeah. Because what I imagine the handheld does is it tries to capitalize on the, like, we're going to make the most powerful handheld, and it'll have, like, the docking station where you can dock it and play it on your TV. Yeah. And who knows? I mean, like, dude, that sounds dope.
Maybe they should just be a publisher. Now
Yeah.
that talking about this, because I remember being pretty pissed off in the past about like why some games were on Steam but not on like the Microsoft Store.
Yeah.
Like,
Or on both. It's weird.
and then also on Xbox. Like anything that can be put on Xbox and PC should be on both. And if you're selling it on the Steam storefront, you should be selling it on your store as well. Like it just doesn't make any. Like I remember having some problem with Fable. I think like Fable is so old that you need like Windows 7 or something, but it's like not sold on the Microsoft Store
Gotcha.
either.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so why is it available on Steam for like $35,
Yeah.
but not like I would kill to play Fable again.
You want to see something?
That's beautiful.
Hold on.
Whoa,
Shit,
dang,
all
that was
stuck
the whole
together.
thing. When's the last time you touched that one?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
That's a sealed fucking copy
Yeah, this is beautiful.
of Fable: The Lost Chapters.
I got into
It's a
Fable.
platinum. Oh, sorry.
This was one of the big games that I got into because of my dad. Watched him play these games, and I was like, this is dope.
Yeah.
These were pretty big spearheads for RPG
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, dude. Fable was huge.
Yeah.
The first time I beat that game, because I had tried a number of times, but the first time I played and beat it, I had tore my ACL skateboarding and was laid up, and I dragged my TV, my original Xbox. Like I had a 360 and a PS3, but I was like, I'm just dragging out this original Xbox, and I'm just going to spend some time playing it.
Yeah.
And so while my ACL was healing and I was doing physical therapy and stuff, I played Fable, not that copy, obviously.
Yeah.
But I played Fable and The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction,
Oh, nice.
and probably played through Halo Combat Evolved or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, this I found at Super Galactic.
Oh, nice.
And the guy
Shout
was
out
like,
to them.
apparently they have like days they have to wait when product comes in that they have to put it on the shelves before they can buy it.
Oh.
And this guy was like, damn it. There was like 2 more days before I could take it home. And I was like, oh, no, dude, that came home with me.
They're looking for new employees.
Yeah?
Yeah, they just put an Instagram post out.
Dang.
That'd be my side job.
You trying to jump ship?
Absolutely not. Not with my benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fable. I'm just, dude. That is a game I would love to play again. And then this is the thing. Like, I don't remember those games being bad. Maybe they were because again, like I was way younger. But then they make some dumb Kinect VR
For Fable 3.
that crashes and burns, and then they scrap the idea. And now I don't know. I think I've been.
Well, they closed the studio.
Like,
And
why?
now the people that make Forza Horizon
Yeah.
are making Fable.
That makes no sense, but okay.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that people with years of experience making a racing game is going to make an RPG.
Yeah. Well, I think that they didn't close Lionhead for monetary reasons. They closed Lionhead because the kind of like, imagine if all of the band members that make a band, what the band is known for, all leave. They just went, oh, all these people left. It's really not Lionhead anymore, and just closed the studio.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. I remember that sentiment. Like, it wasn't for monetary reasons that it was closed, which is kind of an admirable decision to make instead of doing what like BioWare's done and just like keep a dead horse alive.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, dude, just let it go, start a new team.
Yeah.
But Xbox, like, what I would imagine if Xbox was to disappear, like there's no consoles, then they get out of that.
Yeah.
I would think that what they would try to do is be like, hey, most of your library is available on Windows. If you log into your account, you'll always have your games there.
Yeah.
What's not available that way might be available through Game Pass, some weird way because of like a licensing deal or something.
Yeah.
Or you can buy this handheld and continue to play everything from the past and to like a certain point with what we're doing ongoing. But I don't know. It's like,
I mean, technology's getting there for a brand new, really powerful handheld.
yeah.
I mean, if the new iPhone can run like Resident Evil, I don't know how well, but like,
Yeah. Well, I look at the Steam Deck sometimes and I'm like, damn.
yeah, that thing's a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being able to like post up on the couch and play games natively,
I do really want one of those. Yeah.
plug it in to your monitor and use it like a Switch.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Crazy.
I would play so many more Steam games.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and like think about it's like if I think about it too much, I'll start thinking about just moving everything over there, but I have such a history on PlayStation that I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to lose all my trophies. So I don't know. But I don't know. I don't want to imagine like as long as because it's like as long as the games remain and the franchises continue to live on in good ways.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want I don't want there to not be another Gears of War. But if I can play that on my PC or my PlayStation or even a Switch or a Steam Deck and it's just not on an Xbox anymore, I'm okay with that because the games are what's important, not the box.
I guess also for the consumer, it would be better because that's one of the things that I think you talked to me about was for a developer to make a game for the PS5 and the new Xbox, it's vastly different because of the way you said the channels are.
Yeah, for the reading and writing. Yeah.
I don't know how many months that takes to do, but I'm sure that still costs money and time.
Yeah, and opening a new channel for revenue and producers that have to manage those relationships and keep all of that going, making sure that every update works. And you know what I mean? Like once you introduce all those new things, it gets a little bit more complicated. But I think when you think the general sentiment is that a lot of these studios would prefer their games. Like that's where like the sales flatlining. Like I think a lot of people are like, well, if we're going to create these games to be played, but not a lot of people are playing them because they're trapped on a console that's not selling as great as PlayStation. But we got paid. We secured funding for the project, and we got our game out, which is cool and all. But I think it's almost like, when you can tell you're starting to wear somebody down and get your way. Yeah. When you've like almost broke them. Yeah. It seems like developers are starting to feel that way where they're like, hey, you see how Pentiment went to PlayStation? Like, why can't, Starfield? Because like the producer over at Bethesda was like, he wrote some email that leaked that was like pissed off about exclusivity. Oh, yeah. And that like they were cutting off like a whole side of the audience that wouldn't play the game as a result of that decision. And well,
that's because he probably knew it was a shit game and they needed more sales to compensate that. I'll hate on Starfield any day of the week.
It's funny, I recently added it to a list of things that it'll be interesting to talk to you about later because that's coming up. But
don't do it. Don't give in.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything else to say about Xbox and the kind of like, what do you think of the handheld?
I think it would be a good idea. I mean, the Steam Deck, I feel like if it just wasn't... I think the Steam Deck was ahead of its time. And I think with technology and the experience that... I say the experience that they have, but they don't ever use it, it seems like, Xbox. But with the experience, I think it would be a good idea. Yeah. And personally, if it means that games are on PC or Sony and then there's less ports having to be made and time between that stuff, I think that's fine. And the more I talk about it, the more I am kind of convincing myself, maybe if they are just a publisher, it would be better. Yeah. I don't know if that means one more Xbox cycle, and then they're finally going to...
I mean, it might be that way for all of them. Yeah. That's the dark side of, like... It just really depends. Like, Sony will continue to make products well beyond their, like... They're like they still make Walkman. Really? They still make like super high-end MP3 players. Okay. They still make really dope 4K Blu-ray players. Like even though like people are mostly streaming, and if they're gonna put in a DVD, they're probably putting it into a game console of some kind. Yeah. But I think that even if console gaming starts to go by the wayside and people start like streaming things, or everybody moves to PC or weird handheld hybrid consoles and stuff, then I think Sony will stop selling consoles at a loss and start selling them for profit, making them like $800, but making them these like super high end personal computers that play specifically for playing games.
Yeah, I wonder what the Pro's going to be. The PS5 Pro.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the details on that are like that it's doing more like AI upscaling.
Oh.
And like doing weird things where they're like overclocking the CPU and
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, they're doing something weird with the ins and outs. It's not like they're just slapping in better hardware.
Yeah.
They're finding like software solutions to hardware problems, which is a very Google move.
Yeah.
Google tends to do that with their phones. They like find weird software solutions.
Too bad it didn't work with Stadia.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's a whole other conversation. But, sorry, what were we talking about?
Just like final thoughts on Xbox being a publisher, and I think it might be the best. I don't know what a handheld would look like, but it's weird that they haven't merged the two ecosystems they have already.
Yeah,
by now.
My only thing with that is like I have a Series X. I have a ton of original Xbox and 360 games and Xbox One and Series X games, and a digital library as well. But all of that considered, I don't think that like the physical stuff I know isn't going to be able to cross over to a handheld. So it's going to be my digital library and whatever is on Game Pass. And that is enticing. Game Pass on a handheld is enticing.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure you can do workarounds to have that on Steam Deck. And it also, like, why not? Why wouldn't you just want a Steam Deck? Like,
yeah.
The achievements are better. The forums are better. The rating system is better. The ways to get refunds is better. It's... I think Steam, with all of this situation with Xbox kind of being on the ropes, Steam has a very advantageous position to slowly make people aware of how dope they are, that are the people that are in this Xbox nebulous space of like, who knows if I need to switch up or not.
Yeah.
They may look at the landscape and go, well, I don't want to get on PlayStation because if I go with Steam, eventually I will get those PlayStation games. Or if I build a PC, the same thing is true. And I can get into this ecosystem now. And if you build a PC, you can even get some of your Xbox library over there.
Yeah.
I think that the people that, if Xbox goes away, Steam is going to be there to scoop up all of the wayward children.
Yeah.
It'll just be interesting to see how that goes.
They only have just the one Steam Deck, right? They haven't done a second one yet?
They did an OLED Steam
they
Deck.
did? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I know the Switch did that.
Yeah.
And they had a light version, but I feel like it's probably time by now where they produce a new one with beefier hardware.
Yeah. Dude, you want to hear my crazy crackpot theory?
Absolutely.
I know it's not happening, but a long time ago I made this video about what I wanted a Switch Pro to be.
Okay.
And it was, okay, so you have the Switch, that is the hybrid console. But then you have the Switch Lite, which is just portable.
Yeah.
I was like, the Switch Pro should be a just home console that's capable of like this like 4K upscaled checkerboard rendered image, but uses like clever workarounds for like SATA connected SSDs instead of M.2 solid state drives to try to get a good quality load time at a lower cost, and like do all these little things, basically make like the Switch Pro like a small GameCube style console that plays all of your Switch games at a higher resolution. And to an extent, I wish Steam, like if Xbox starts to waver, like right when they're like about to miss the count and get up in the boxing match of the console wars, right at that point, if they go, we're putting out another Steam machine.
Yeah.
It's you can use whatever controller you want, but you just buy this box. You have access to your entire Steam library.
Yeah.
It if you plug your Steam Deck into it, it boosts. Like you can take advantage of both GPUs and both CPUs and get like this really crazy image or something wild crazy like that.
Yeah.
Like if stuff like that is possible, doing weird things like that just like make this like the Steam ecosystem in terms of gaming this really viable option, I think they might be able to dethrone them. And I kind of wouldn't be mad at it.
No, yeah, because the Steam box looks awesome.
Yeah.
I always wanted one of those as well.
Yeah, it's just the controller sucked.
Yeah.
It had the weird like track pads instead of thumbsticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not good.
But I heard that thing was a beast as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you could literally just play the same game, and that thing is just not nearly as big as any PC.
Totally.
Which is crazy.
I remember I worked at GameStop at the time, and I remember where they fucked up is they had all these weird tiers. Where there was like a really weak one. There was like a that was like cheaper than a game console, like a PlayStation or an Xbox. Then they had one that was like maybe comparable to an Xbox or a PlayStation at the time, but it was a little bit more expensive than an Xbox or a PlayStation. And then they had like a really expensive one, if I remember correctly. And yeah, it was confusing to explain to people what it was.
Yeah.
And then when you handed them the demo controller, they're like, yeah, no, I don't want to use these track pads instead of thumbsticks.
Yeah, and then it's weird because when you get to that point, then the people like that's the whole selling point of a console is you're not dropping $1,000 on a PC, $200 on a monitor, $80 on a keyboard.
Yeah,
it's $700 or $600, and you just can plug it into the TV.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, dude, I'm rooting for Steam.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
and I feel like Sony and Steam probably have a good relationship with them porting their stuff over.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you weren't entrenched in any ecosystem, if you are a patient human being that does not care about what everybody's playing at the moment, the smartest thing to do is to build a PC.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or buy a Steam Deck. That's almost a no-brainer if you are like just getting into gaming. It might be, I guess the tough thing with PC gaming is like, I get option paralysis with like fucking around with trying to get the game to run as optimally as possible for my PC, which I know a lot of people have fun doing, but I'll sit there and I'll think like I could always squeeze a little bit more out.
Yeah.
And so I'll just sit there and tinker, and then I'm not playing the game. And the nice thing about a console is that it just plays the game.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what VR happens now that the Apple Vision thing.
Dude. Last week, did I talk about playing VR?
No.
Okay.
Because I've always wanted to play Beat Saber and just do VR. I feel like that would be so fun.
Okay, so this happened last Sunday.
Okay.
I went over to my buddy Jack's house. He's a big sim racing guy. He got a PC, and he invited me and my other buddy Octavio over to try out the VR like sim rig. And I mean, he has like a next level wheel and chair and.
Oh, see, I thought it was just that and then the monitor.
No, yeah, no.
Oh, it's got the headset and everything. Okay, then that's sick, yeah.
And dude, I haven't wanted a virtual like PSVR 2 or anything like that, which might come to PC at some point, like functionality, which is an enticing thing. But I've not wanted like it until I played that, and I was like, oh my god! And this is on like an old headset.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, the new ones, especially how high quality PSVR 2 is.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, this and Gran Turismo 7, you would every week for what I've been playing, I'd be like, I've been playing Gran Turismo 7 VR all day. Because, dude, it's so much fun. Oh, my God. Like, getting up and, like, looking over down at the road and, like I don't know, we played, like a Formula 1 game, and we played Assetto Corsa. And what was dope about Assetto Corsa is, like, you can just get in some, like, tuned-out Honda and just get on the expressway at night and just, like, fly through traffic.
That's dope.
And, oh, my God, it was so much fun.
Yeah, I've only ever wanted one just for Beat Saber, but you want a PC one because then you can download whatever songs you want.
Yeah.
You're not limited to a library.
Yeah.
So, but I also, is it like dropping $800 just to play Beat Saber?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's like a cheaper one on the I'm sure there's cheaper ones. I
Yeah.
mean, there's like the Oculus, the HTC Vive.
Yeah. The MetaQuest.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3.
So that might be honestly what I get.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you could do that and play Beat Saber.
yeah, that would be perfect then.
Yeah.
Hook
And
it
you
up
don't
to
have to hook it up to anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I just want the catalog of songs that's available through
Got you.
PC.
Understood.
Because like on PSVR, you're limited to like packs,
Got you.
which sucks.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that does suck. But yeah, VR, I'm kind of looking at you like it sucks because PlayStation recently announced that they're halting production on PSVR 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit,
Yeah.
I kind of want to get it now.
Yeah.
And they might be hard to find if people are panic buying them.
I wonder why they're halting. Did they announce? I mean, the
I don't-
sales have never been really that good, I feel like, for VR.
Yeah, I don't think it's doing well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of games. It's
Yeah.
like, unless you want to play Resident Evil again in VR and get
Yeah.
scared shitless.
Or shitty shooters.
Or just really bad shooters. Or, I mean, like, what I would like to do with VR is just put the headset on with headphones, just be super immersed and play with a controller, just looking at a big screen.
Like you are the first person. That would actually be pretty sick, yeah.
That is how I would like. That would be enough for me. It's probably uncomfortable, and that's probably why people don't do it.
But can you imagine Cyberpunk?
Oh my god!
Like looking up and you're seeing Arasaka Tower and like the giant holographic fish.
Yeah.
That would be so sick, and you're there in first person. That would actually be next level.
Yeah, it's just I'm sure like control. You almost to not get sick have to make it where it's just a big screen in front of you.
Yeah.
And you're just playing, but you're like, there's no distractions from the world. Like you're completely like in a chamber to yourself
Gamer
to experience. Yeah, you're in like a weird gamer pod.
Have you seen those chairs where the thing like comes down and it's 3 monitors?
The Scorpion thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing's intense.
It's a gamer pod.
Yeah. That'd be cool though.
Oh yeah.
For racing, that would be fucking sweet.
I always thought those dude, Pacific Rim is like the best movie when there's movie theaters with like the reactive chairs.
Oh yeah.
Imagine that as well, and you're
Oh
like,
my god.
that would be cool.
Yeah. Hey, what have you been playing?
Oh no. What have I been playing? Steel Rising. Can't finish that damn game. Too busy.
Yeah.
Just such a busy person, you know.
But you've been playing Warhammer.
Yeah. I played Baldur's Gate 3 again with friends.
Oh, cool.
We're gonna do a little campaign, which is good because then it'll give me a reason to finish.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
I'm
cool.
playing.
How is it?
Baldur's Gate?
Yeah.
Unbelievably fun.
Yeah.
Just the scope and scale of what you can do is crazy.
Damn.
I mean, it is such a fun game. We're playing on a harder difficulty.
Oh, okay.
But it's not like the crazy hard mode, but you still have to be smart about it. But it is just like what you can do in that game. Anything from like, I pickpocket my friends all the time. And they
You can do that?
Yeah, and they see me. I'll wait till they're in a cutscene, and you'll see. I named my character Brad Pitt, and I made him like unbelievably ugly. But like, you'll see Brad Pitt has entered stealth mode, and then you'll be like, Evan, what are you doing? And then I'll be like, nothing. I'm just taking their gold. And I mean, they can do the same thing, but it's all like a skill check.
Yeah, I was going to ask, you have to pass a skill check. Like, if you fail it, does it alert them?
Kind of, yeah. Like, there's a percentage depending on like the type of item. Like, if it's obviously like bigger or really valuable, you know, the like percentage bar. I think it might be a little bit different because it's like we're friends. I don't know if because we're in a party together, I'm always going to pass it.
Got you.
But I think I'm playing as, oh, I forget. It's some like nature warrior fucker, but like I don't know. I use a bow. I'm like a little dwarf with a bow. A gnome, I think.
That's cool.
Just because it's funny.
Yeah. Named Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I've been doing that, which is fun, and then just Steel Rising.
Damn, that's the game that won't end.
Well, to be fair, I haven't really played a whole lot, but yes, I'm at this point now, so I don't really understand why everybody's in a box, but every named boss that you fight, you're rescuing somebody and they're just in a fucking box and they're like in this dream state.
Huh.
Don't know why. The one person said that he like thought he was in hell.
Okay.
And I guess like the big evil dude, like there's symbols on the boxes and the robots, and I guess he's trying to do some like hell thing.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to go like the route of alchemical summoning like
Oh, okay.
Castlevania or like Full Metal Alchemist, like,
Yeah.
you know, deals with that stuff. But we'll see. But right now I've got like the gang all together, and they're sending me out on these side missions.
Okay.
And I think, you know, if you pursue their little quest line, you get an achievement. So I was like, why not? I might as well.
Yeah.
And then other than that, yeah, I just been playing Warhammer. Ray, if you're watching, I'm just the better player. And I've been building Kroot, which are these. There's a faction in Warhammer called the Tau, and they're like the space communists. They believe in the greater good.
Got you.
They're supposed to be the good guys, but there's no good guys in Warhammer 40k. But they have these auxiliary races, and one of them is the Kroot. And the cool thing about them is whatever they eat changes their genetic code.
Okay.
So if they eat like an animal that's dumb as shit, they'll evolve into like this brutish, dumb thing.
Okay.
So they got to be kind of careful because they can end up fucking their entire tribe's line. Stuff. But
that's funny.
The fact that they got like 8 models,
yeah,
and that they have a whole detachment dedicated to themselves, I want to play. They're just these naked, just with some scrap gear, and they're just like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, let's just go. And they're riding on each other like the big ones. They're like these dumb brutes, and they like silverback gorillas, and there's a smaller one with a gun mounted on its back. Like,
hell yeah.
Sup, John, you're doing great. You know what I mean? Like, that's just so funny to me.
Hell yeah.
Or you saw your best friend just eat dog meat, and he turned into a Kroot hound, and he's a dog. Like, sup, Billy? And it just can't talk to you anymore because it's de-evolved.
So, in game, would you have a figure that is just a normal person, and then after he eats the dog meat, you swap it with the hound?
No, because that's not like a mechanic in the game, as cool as it would be. That's just like in the lore.
Got you.
Of like that stuff happens.
So the dogs just exist.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Now, it doesn't like you eat one dog, you instantly like become a dog or something. It's not like that, but over time of consuming the same material, it becomes embedded with your own genetics and starts to morph.
Okay.
So, but then there's like these leaders called flesh shapers, and they're responsible for leading their tribe to, you know, not de-evolve.
Okay.
To eat like good stuff.
Wow.
So
it's cool that, because like personally, I think if I was to get into Warhammer, the only thing I could gravitate towards is that stuff, like the lore.
Yeah.
The game would almost not interest me.
Yeah.
But it's cool that you also gravitate towards that, because like every time I ask you about Warhammer, that's what you talk about.
Oh, the lore? Yeah, I mean, the lore is insane.
Yeah.
I actually just looked up because I was curious how many years in advance does like the modeling and painting team work on something before they release.
Okay.
And it's 2 years.
Wow.
Which is crazy because they must be on like the tightest NDA on the planet.
To work that long on them?
Yeah, because leaks happen in the warehouse where people will take a picture of product being manufactured. Like the core rules for Age of Sigmar, the artwork was leaked. It was like a stack of books.
Wow.
But like, you know, if an employee that worked on sculpting a model, if they revealed that, they would probably instantaneously be like sued or fired.
Yeah.
Which is fine because it is really cool. Because my buddy Ray was saying, because he plays World Eaters, that apparently there's a rumor or a leak that they were supposed to have like an additional 3 or 4 models that came with their launch.
Okay.
But they scrapped it and saved it for later.
Wow.
So like,
do they do expansions to sets? Like, will there be like a Kroot expansion?
that's what this one was, because before it was like 15-year-old models.
Oh,
and
wow.
They actually ended up taking some of them. So this was a big relaunch of them. But they're not big enough to be their own faction.
Gotcha.
So what they'll do is they'll either release and make a brand new standalone faction that has already existed in the lore, or they'll do a hefty overhaul, or like just a normal regular. I mean, it's kind of a roll of the dice.
Okay.
Like 10th edition came with Tyranids and Space Marines. Space Marines are the poster boys. They'll always get new models. They'll always have the most. But Tyranid models were like starting to get 20 years old.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they're the big bad. They're going to have like 20 new models come out. Necrons was 9th edition. And like the Necron Codex came out in October. That came with like 3.
Okay.
Not the greatest, not the worst. It reimagined 2 really old characters. But then sometimes it feels bad because they actually remove models. And they actually removed 3 named characters.
They pull a Destiny.
Yeah, which sucks. And it sucks because they're, especially when they take away named characters with established lore.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So
when that happens, you just can't play those figures anymore?
Nope.
Gotcha.
At least as what they were.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but, they might return.
Cool.
And there's a reason for that. And they know,
Gotcha.
Because the tabletop game pushes the lore ever so slightly.
Okay.
Based on events and like these narrative campaigns. The books help fill in all these gaps, but obviously, it is a living, breathing game with lore. Like, for 30 years real time of all the tabletop models that have been released, probably like obviously 2,000 years have gone by in the setting.
Oh,
so
wow.
It still has, like, technically in the lore, it's Warhammer 42K.
Okay.
It's 40K.
No, it's 40 take 2.
Yeah, 40 take 2, 2K. Yeah. But they have to be like real picky and choosy. Now, Age of Sigmar, the fantasy side, they will do like these supplements. So if there's like a sub faction that's big enough, they'll give you like these little side rules for free, and they'll pump out like 4 or 5 models.
Okay.
Like for orcs in fantasy, there's like a shit ton of different types of orcs.
Gotcha.
There's one that's popular, like the Ard Boys, and they came out with like 4 models, and they ride boars, which are
cool.
pretty sick.
That does sound
like
sick.
have little sidecars of an orc with like a fucking spear riding this giant maw crusher boar pig thing.
That's cool.
They got, like I said, 4 things and like a little supplement rule book if you wanted to play a whole army of them.
Yeah.
Or if you wanted to incorporate them into the bigger unified.
Okay.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
So.
Damn. Dude,
yeah.
Warhammer's. It's like one of those things that like I know I would not ever get into it just because it's a whole thing. It's a whole undertaking.
Yeah.
But it's cool to hear about it because it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's just, the ship has sailed for me.
Absolutely. And it's expensive.
Yeah.
Hobby, unfortunately, no matter what, because even if you do like a hyper elite army, the models might be bigger, which means they're like over $100 for one.
Wow.
Which even if you only use like 6, you're still looking, that's $600+.
Yeah.
Paint, everything.
Yeah.
So just sitting, waiting around every day. They drip feed us the changes they're making to 4.0 for Age of Sigmar.
Okay.
And I'm just waiting for the reveals of the new rats.
Gotcha.
The rats are cool. Man-sized rats.
Whoa. Like Master Splinter?
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
And they just huff warpstone like cocaine.
Dude, that would be my squad.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm playing as the rats.
They just do their own thing. They fuck up 90% of the time, but when shit goes right for them, they're like, oh my God, did you see that? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it worked. Like, in the lore for Age of Sigmar, they don't have to take, like, realm gates to access other places like everybody else.
Okay.
They can, like, tunnel through dimensions,
cool.
but they don't know where the fuck they're tunneling.
Right on.
So they could tunnel under a volcano.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, shit, that didn't work. Or they could tunnel into an ocean and they just drown themselves.
Oh,
or
wow.
into where they need to be. And they're like, oh, my God, did you see that? We did it.
Yeah.
We only lost 900 people, but we did it. Like,
that's wild.
It's such a funny,
Damn. And that's just lore?
That's just in lore. There's been, like, there's a famous named rat, Thankful, and he has accidentally summoned a greater demon numerous times.
Okay.
Not when he wanted to.
Gotcha.
And the greater demon's just like, who the fuck summoned me? And there's just this rat going, that wasn't part of the plan. And it's like just this whole gimmick thing of him trying to kill.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
Wow. But anything else?
That's just Borderlands.
Yeah, Borderlands. We'll do the Borderlands update.
Okay.
So in terms of what I've been playing, I beat Alone in the Dark.
Hell yeah.
Twice.
Going for third?
Both characters, no.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought I was going to go for the platinum, but
Is that with the speed run?
that's the speed run.
Okay.
That's what I thought I would only have left.
Okay.
But I wasn't following a guide through my second playthrough, which I probably should have because there are these collectibles. The word starts with an L. It's like Laganaps or something. I have no idea how it's actually pronounced, but I didn't find them all. And so I would have to do the speed run and then do another run just to go scoop up all the collectibles. And because I'm not trying to play this game 4 times, one of which would either take some serious planning or at the very least like following a video guide, like frame by frame, like watching it as I go through to make sure I don't miss anything.
What did you do? I remember you telling me about an achievement about not healing yourself.
I did do that.
Okay.
Yeah, which towards the end of the game, so
I figured that would be an undertaking.
yeah, because at no point through the experience do you, because it takes place in the course of one night.
Okay. Wow, that's crazy.
At no point do you hit any checkpoints where you get any health restored. So you're literally just playing through with the health, and as you hit checkpoints wherever you were health wise at that checkpoint, like if you die and come back and reload, you have the same health you had when the checkpoint was made.
Dang.
So you don't get any kind of boost. So by the end of the game, I'm like struggling to get through this like final encounter with the boss that keeps spawning all these enemies, and I'm just trying to like shoot these weird boils off of it, and like that part was really difficult, but I got through it. And after I did that, what was really cool about it was, like it's a game with a small budget, so like you went to the same places with both characters.
Okay.
But based on the characters' like perspective and like outlook on life, and they almost had like these like psychologically proprietary experiences that based on like there was a pretty big thing with trauma and like dealing with it. And like seeing the two characters. The only thing with that really kind of sucked, and I'm trying not to spoil anything, is that they just, by the time the big emotional weighty moment happened, it felt like a flash in the pan. It just didn't feel like it had a chance to breathe. And so like everything that the story was setting up, by the time you got to the resolution, it just didn't hit right for me personally. So it took what was really cool and kind of soured it a little bit. And then the gameplay just has no redeeming qualities outside of the puzzles.
Was there a pacing problem?
It's incredibly paced.
Okay.
Except for that one moment. It's like, that should have been like the one moment where they were like, we're going to let this moment breathe a little bit and give the character like a moment of self-reflection or something. But it's like, it happens, and then in the way that it went for me, because it might play out differently, because there are different endings.
Oh, okay.
Where some of them just did not make sense at all. And I almost felt like maybe it was the original ending to the original game that they like tacked on for like a nod, but it like doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. It's their headcanon.
Yeah, something weird. But I played it. Ultimately, I recorded my final thoughts video on it today. So I'll edit that around the time I edit this podcast. And they'll probably go live around the same time. And my score is in that. But basically, if you just want the score, after like I did all the math for all the sections that I typically review a game on, it's a 3 out of 5. So if you're on a 10-point scale, a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, I'm okay with that. I don't feel burned in any way. But it really the setting, the vibe, and what it did for like triggering me into wanting to mess around with more puzzle games. Actually, the game that I started today was kind of inspired by Alone in the Dark's puzzles and like adventure qualities. Which it doesn't seem like it at first blush, but when you really start playing it, it kind of, you realize why. But I took like almost 100 games. I think it's like 98 games. It ended up. I put them on a online spinner wheel that will stay there always.
Yeah.
Maybe unless I clear my cache or something. But I put everything on there. Everything from my PlayStation, my Xbox, my Switch, and just gave it a spin.
Hell yeah.
Whatever it landed on, because I was like, I do want to play Darksiders, but I don't feel called to it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play another like puzzle game to an extent, and so I kind of lucked out with what the spinner wheel landed on. But it's Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the third Crystal Dynamics
Okay.
like Square Enix published with like in their Western studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, their last Tomb Raider that they made, and I've played maybe a little over 2 hours of it.
Okay.
It's fucking kick ass.
Hell yeah.
Like total power fantasy of just like feeling like a dope archer, fucking people up, stealthing around. The visuals are fantastic, and it's incredibly well voice acted, and
Nice.
yeah, I'm having a good time with it. Definitely have to get further into it, but I think maybe like a year and a half ago, I played Tomb Raider Definitive Edition again, and then I played Rise of the Tomb Raider for the first time. And I would say that Shadow is probably the best. Maybe not from a narrative perspective, but I mean that it's too early to tell, really. But from like a quality standpoint, is really fucking good. And so I'm playing through that, and finished up Alone in the Dark. Kind of just in the gray space between now and Stellar Blade. So we'll see how many games I get through.
I want Steel Rising to be done. I feel like once I pick up Horizon again,
Yeah.
I'm gonna like go hard
Yeah.
and just like be obsessed with that game. Because I wasn't bored. I don't know what the hell came up, but
Dude, I can't. There's part of me that's like, I know I've said it before, but makes me want to like go back and play Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah.
But like, what I'm waiting for is the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster to come out, and then I'm gonna replay all of the original,
yeah.
and then play Forbidden West again.
Okay.
What's crazy about Forbidden West is I was at like a Best Buy or a Target recently, and they're selling Forbidden West on PS5 for $15.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, if you just bought a PlayStation, that's a great game to buy for $15. A physical $15 Forbidden West? I almost bought it off principle, but I didn't.
I had to clean up my room and show off the mammoth statue.
Oh my god, yeah, dude.
Yeah. A little Aloy.
Yeah.
So sick.
Have that in the background of your streams and stuff?
Yeah, that's a heavy thing. It's a well built.
Hell yeah.
It's a good statue.
Damn. I can't believe you have that, but haven't finished the game.
I know. It's actually disgusting, yeah.
Damn, dude.
Dude, that's why tonight I'm definitely going to play Still Rising, and hopefully I'll have time tomorrow.
Yeah. Did you see Forbidden West, the PC port got announced recently?
Yeah, I saw one of my friends playing. I think it's already out, right?
Yeah, I think it launched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw one of my friends playing it.
Yeah. So dope.
Yeah.
I think we were recently talking about whether or not that was a thing or not, and then it was like within the week it happened. It's almost like we spoke it into existence.
Yeah. And then they're going to milk that of all the people waiting around. And
Yep.
yeah.
Right on.
It'll be good for Sony and Gorilla.
Yeah,
Studios.
Gorilla. Yeah. But yeah, I'm ready for you to finish Steel Rising and just beyond that, because it's like, I know it's like a game that's like right up your alley, but I can tell that you're like, I just got to get through this.
It's like I'm not having as big of a time doing the side explorations as I thought I was.
Okay.
Because it's nice because I mean, so yes, it's annoying when I decide to explore on my own and I'm getting hit with a lock and it's like you need a key. And
Yeah.
I'll never know until I progress the story. But I am opening large portions of the map, and it is nice seeing them all tied together.
Yeah.
I think the level design is pretty decent.
That's cool.
So, and like I said, the weapons are super cool and fun to do, but it's just like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with the story. I mean, I kind of do, but like, I don't know. It just sucks because like the time period is super cool, but just with everybody's name sounding so similar,
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, I'm not gonna look up this. I did look up the Les Invalides was like actually a soldier's home that King Louis XVI built for soldiers that were retiring, or like essentially an old person's home and retirees, like a veteran's home.
Wow.
Kind of insane.
Yeah.
For a king that existed during the French Revolution and
Totally.
let them eat cake.
Yeah.
So not the greatest. Somewhere along the lines, the policies took a turn for the worst, but like kind of crazy also that this was built as a charitable thing for the people.
That's wild.
So, yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that's a game where like, because it's a Souls-like, I'm like trepidatious about because I did add it to my library when it was a free PlayStation Plus game. Which, by the way, this next upcoming month, Immortals of Avium is coming. Y'all should check it out. It's not as bad as everybody made it out to be. But it's like I was saying, like I've never finished a Souls-like, and it's like now it's funny because it makes me sound so sus, but the setting or like the topic or whatever has to really speak to me or do something.
That's totally fair. In terms of Stellar Blade, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, the setting,
yeah. But like
all two settings. That's totally fine. I mean, I get it as well. I like anything to do with robots. Like
gotcha.
When it changes that, like that's what I love about the Horizon, the creativity in making like an animalistic robot.
Yeah.
And the fact that they don't, just like when you look at the art design of those robots and you see like the fiber mesh of their joints and stuff like that, and just like the inner workings, and you can see, oh wow, this gear is like would be the stomach muscle or something. That is just so cool. Like there's no way that was done in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
To go that level into detail.
Yeah.
Is so astounding to me.
And dude, there are things in that game that are going to blow your fucking mind. And I just can't wait for you to be there.
I was at a point where my mind was already blown.
Yeah.
I was right after the area where the robots are like suffering a sickness and can't plow the fields.
Yeah.
There's like a big story point.
Yeah.
You go to get something and individuals show up and you're like, who the fuck are those?
Yeah.
That's where I got there and something happened and I was just like, bro.
Dude, you've got to keep going.
Yeah.
Beat Steel Rising as quick as possible.
I'm committed to really hopefully getting done tonight, if not tomorrow morning.
Hell yeah. Cool.
Again, it just doesn't have a quirk like the other Souls clones. Yeah. And then the Souls games themselves, they don't need it because they are the OGs.
Gotcha.
But
dude, well, for this week, say it with your chest.
Oh, fuck, I keep never thinking of stuff.
Yeah, I've got a quick one. Did
you want to talk about Borderlands at all?
Oh yeah, we do need to do our
60,
Borderlands update.
65 or 70%.
So let's roll it back. Yeah, we're currently we're doing side missions that are part of like the 30th mission and the 32nd, like. Because like the way that the mission structure is laid out on this Steam forum that I'm using, has like a bunch of, it'll have like the main quest and then the side quests that are associated with that. And currently we have some from the 30th mission and some from the 32nd. So out of like 48 total story missions. So we're making decent progress. We just have to really put our foot on the gas a little bit.
Yeah.
Because then we're going to do all the DLCs.
Yeah. Which are definitely like, one is like redundant, Mad Moxie's, and then the other two. One is pretty dang big.
Yeah.
Secret Army of General Knox.
Cool.
That's a big one.
Yeah. What's the zombie one?
The Zombie Island of Dr. Ned.
Yeah. That one I'm interested in just off the name.
That's gonna
cool.
It's a cool DLC. It's very
fuck yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Right on.
Even Claptrap's Robot Revolution is unbelievably funny.
Okay, cool.
And you are gonna, when you meet General Knox too, dude, it's just the writing is so fucking good in these games.
Hell yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, at this point, we have like all but stopped playing Helldivers, even though like as soon as my buddy Jack buys it, which I'm going to talk to him tomorrow about whether or not he's buying it or like what's going on with that. When he gets back to me about that is when I think we'll jump back into Helldivers, which will pull from Borderlands time. But right now I'm like, let's get through Borderlands. It's like if I have game time and I'm not playing like right now Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I'm like hoping that we're playing Borderlands.
Yeah, I also do need to get off my butt and play more Lethal Company with my friends.
Yeah,
that's a fun just game night.
Yeah,
just random stuff. Grinding out, getting stuff for the company.
Yeah. What days do they typically like playing?
We just haven't played in a hot minute.
Gotcha.
So we're trying to, I'm sure there's been updates. We want to get the mod where the loot bugs scream yippee.
Oh, cool.
All the time, and there's like more of them.
Yeah.
So you'll turn a corner and there's like 20 loot bugs all hoarding just like a screw that's only worth like $30, and they're all screaming yippee, 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 and you're like, can I please have the loot? Yippee, and they just fly at you.
Wow. I've not seen Lethal Company.
Dude,
I know you've told me about it.
So many funny shorts.
Yeah.
People become star voice actors during that game
Wow.
when they just scream and then their mic cuts off because they died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And there's the famous one where it's like a dude who was taken by a creature and dragged back to his room, and then there's a person screaming, "Give him back, give him back," and he's chasing him through the "Give him back to me." Like, so funny.
Yeah, it seems like there's been a lot of like really cool like group style games that have come out after like Among Us
Yeah.
and stuff.
Among Us was fun.
Yeah, I've never played.
That was a fun game.
Cool. Damn.
That's fun while you're drunk.
Oh, I bet.
Same
yeah.
with Lethal Company.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that's something like I would be interested in checking out. It's just like you hope you have like a pretty sizable group of people.
Yeah.
Can you play Among Us locally?
I think so, and on your phone.
Damn. Yeah.
So, like,
yeah, if everybody was hanging out,
yeah,
they could all pull out their phones and play. That's cool.
I totally didn't just kill you. You die and you look up at the person that
And
just
they're like devilish grin on their face.
Yeah.
But so say it with your chest this week.
Oh gosh.
I want to say this now that I've put it behind me. Alone in the Dark is a good game. And I won't stand for the slander anymore. Like,
Hell yeah.
that review that's a 1.5 out of 5.
That's crazy.
That pisses me off. Like, that is stupid. Like, and I know that reviews are subjective and everything, but like objectively, that game is not that bad. And it people, I just don't get it, because it's like there were like a handful of reviews from like Games Radar, GameSpot, like that, like reviewed it like it was like this dog shit game.
Yeah.
The only one that like now I look back at and I'm kind of like, okay, I see depending on how you do your math, calling it a 2.5 out of 5 seems okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because you think that on a 5-point scale, 3 is the average because it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
But if you take 5 plus 1 and divide it by 2, you get 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, 2.5 out of 5 would technically be the average, like, or like middling rating.
Yeah.
And giving that would make the game a 5, which if, you know, the setting and all these things weren't doing it for you, so you weren't affording it grace just because you fucked with the vibe, which is maybe where I'm coming from. You know,
Yeah.
I like the soundtrack. I like detective stories. I like all that. It's like right up my alley.
Yeah.
I mean, my YouTube channel is called Hitbox Detective, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
But the that's the only one that now I look back at and I go, oh, I can see how somebody would call it a 5. Like if they weren't charmed by the soundtrack, or they weren't charmed by like on a AA game, like Alone in the Dark, or like a game like Evil West, when particularly with Evil West, you can see the demonstration that the devs are trying to make of like, hey, like, cause the way you loot boxes in Evil West, or like search through containers, is almost frame by frame the same as God of War 2018 and Ragnarok.
No.
I at the time when I was playing it, I was like, you can tell that these devs are like trying to prove that they can work on bigger games and be like in support studios or do things, maybe get a job at a Sony Santa Monica.
Yeah.
And like, so when I am playing Alone in the Dark, I'm looking at it and saying the sound people and the visual people, those people are going to go on to do stuff. The
Yeah.
people that programmed the combat and stuff, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
And the writers might have to go back to the drawing board. Outside of the people that are writing, like the notes that you pick up, and like the voice actors, like they could go on to do stuff.
Dude
that
from
would be
Stranger Things was in it, right?
Yeah, David Harbour, but David Harbour was really good.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, in terms of like, you know, the puzzles were good, you know, they were intuitive, and like it's a good game, but it's just a good game. Like it's like, I don't know, like, because it's weird, like people will take a game that's like fucking one of the best, like the highest caliber
Yeah.
kind of experience. You'd be like, oh, it's an 8. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you smoking?
Yeah, they just want to hate on it and they have no experience. They're
Yeah.
just being trolls.
Yeah, or they're just like I mean, I know it's everybody's opinion, but like you can tell the difference between a reviewer that will play a game that they don't like, but still give it a good score, or the type of reviewer that will review a game poorly because they didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like they're not interested in the story. They don't like where it's going, but they can't look at it and go, no, I understand that this is a good game. It's just not for me.
I almost feel like that should be brought to light. Like before you read any articles from that said person, they should acknowledge, hey, look, I didn't want to do this to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's only fair in that spirit of transparency.
Yeah.
Like reporting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because typically there used to be like arguments of like, should people that like the game or are fans of the franchise review the game, or should an objective third party review it?
Yeah.
So that the grace that a fan might it's like when a band you like puts out a record. It's like if you fuck with the dudes in the band or the people in the band, you're going to be okay with their more creative stuff.
Yeah.
And then branching out.
Yeah.
But if you just liked the old record and you don't give a shit about the band or the people in it, and then they put out a record you don't like, you're going to be like, oh, this is a shit record.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I'm not saying that like I was a fan of Alone in the Dark. I'd never played one.
Yeah.
But I think that it's really tough to say. And I think that basically what people are doing, it's why like these websites are kind of, unless they do guides, are kind of falling by the wayside. And I think a lot of people are just they're finding YouTubers that they can go and that whose opinions they trust.
And they know they've played the game, yeah.
Yes.
One, because it's more of their livelihood.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And they're enthusiasts. They're doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
For the most part. You know, a lot of people are making money, and that's cool and all, but yeah, for the most part, people are doing it for the love of the game, not because, like, the thing with, like, if you work at, like, an IGN or you work for, like, a media company, I feel like there's a little bit of ego that gets tied up in what you do.
Oh, I'm sure.
And not that it totally ruins what's going on, but, like, when it's, like, your day job to write book reports about video games, I think your perspective on them is going to change a little bit rather than the everyday person that's doing this for, like, they're electing to use their free time for this.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to the gym because they like this so much.
And it sucks because, like, with video games compared to, like, I'm not going to say video game reviewers are not, like, journalists or stuff like that, but I feel like because of the type of content they're reviewing and doing research on, it's a lot more, it can be swayed and has a lot more bias. It's really hard, unlike if you were reporting on, like, what members of Congress are doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no way to throw your opinion in there. I mean, you'll notice, like, the keywords they use. You're like, oh, okay, I can tell the person's opinion from that buzzword, but, like, with a video game review, it's almost entirely, and it sucks because you'd want it to be more factual.
Yeah.
Almost, but it's really, I feel like that's probably one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I stopped, like, looking at almost anything that was Kotaku.
Oh, yeah.
Because it just started seeming like it was just less like IGN and more like opinions.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I like
100%.
Polygon. Polygon and IGN I'll look at.
Yeah, Polygon I've gone back and forth on.
Okay.
Like, it's funny because, like, something happened at some point where I was like, yeah, I'm just not going to Polygon anymore. And I, like, wrote it off. Very similarly to, like, Kotaku. But right now I use Video Games Chronicle for news. Occasionally I'll check out IGN just because they blend other things.
That's what I like about IGN is they're very multifaceted. They have guides.
Yes.
You know, they have early reviews or just like insights,
Previews,
interviews with the people. They're like almost always the ones interviewing developers and stuff like that.
But some would argue that that's what makes them the most sus.
That's
because
fair.
you got to maintain those relationships.
That's why they give everybody a 7.
Yeah. But also it's like at the same time, like, it is just marketing.
Yeah.
Like, a company like IGN understands that their enthusiast culture
Yeah.
makes them a great marketing arm.
Yeah, they're literally a marketing firm for video games, essentially.
Yeah.
It's like the Mad Men.
And so if they play nice, and if the studios play nice, you know,
Yeah.
they can really sell these products.
Yeah.
And these people that want to have jobs writing and talking about video games, I mean, something I would love to do. I would much rather make YouTube videos than fucking have to go do my day job. But, you know, it's like somewhere there's a balance that gets struck. But the other thing with IGN is it's very weird that a lot of their people leave and go work for studios.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to name names, but there's like a person that went to Naughty Dog. There's a person that went to Sony Santa Monica. There's a person that went to Sucker Punch. Like, it's like these people are brushing shoulders, and there is some overlap.
Yeah.
Between them working at IGN and them going to work, where they've like interviewed and are waiting to hear back.
Magically, the head of PR,
yeah, and at the same time covering those games.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like, how do you know when you're in the overlap with somebody you're listening to on IGN? Stuff like that makes it a little questionable. But for the most part, nobody's paying attention to shit like that. Just dorks like me.
Same thing that happened with the special black label that the FDA gave OxyContin. Totally unrelated, off topic, but one of the directors of the FDA at the time gave a one-of-the-kind, never-heard-of black label approval for OxyContin when it was being advertised and coming out.
That's wild.
And then that person went and became a worker at Purdue Pharma, who makes it. Crazy. Also, dude's probably a millionaire.
Yeah, probably.
Or in jail, hopefully.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, you got that fucking awesome rap song.
Yeah.
All about OxyContin. You ever heard that song?
I have not. But
oh my god, that's like a pillhead anthem.
I want to circle back. I think we should have a thumbnail of Liam Neeson from Taken.
Yeah.
When you said, "I won't stand for this slander," and at one point, I will find you.
I will.
Like, I don't know where you are, but I will find you.
I will find you.
Yeah.
But hey, that's it for this episode of Save Scummers. Remember to follow, subscribe, rate, and review the show on your podcast service of choice. Please go check out the YouTube channel, Hitbox Detective. Evan, let the people know where they can find you.
What about my say with the chest?
Oh, holy shit.
I don't actually have one, though.
Oh, okay. At some point, I thought you were like just joining in with me, and not the review slander for Alone in the Dark, but just like reviewers needing to get their shit together.
Yeah. This is going to be a short episode, I think. Or are we at the...
I can't see. We're at like an hour 43.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's on the shorter side.
Yeah.
But right at ballpark where we were last time.
I will definitely have a lot more news.
Yeah.
For next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, I will skip the say it with your chest. I don't have one passionately.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're all good.
I can say I don't think Overwatch should be charging $25 for a skin, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's a pretty penny.
It's really steep.
That's a game right now.
Even, yeah.
Oh, other say it with your chest. Not to be a fucking...
No, double up.
Like
I'll double up and pass it on. Pass to the next person.
It's more of just a heads up for those that don't know. And I'm not trying to like market shit in any way, but right now there are hella sales on the PlayStation Network.
Yes.
Really great games on sale. Like, I got The Sinking City because of the Alone in the Dark kind of inspired me.
You need to look at them, yeah.
$8.
That is crazy.
It was like 85% off. Crazy.
Yeah.
So go check it out.
I will need to tonight. I remember you telling me about it, yeah.
Yeah. But still, you got to get to Forbidden West.
I mean, yeah. So it's hard if I look at it. Maybe I shouldn't look at it. I know.
Well, like, do you wish list anything?
Yeah, some things.
Yeah. Just check your wish list and see if there's anything that you wish listed that's on sale.
That's how I got the notification that the JoJo's All-Star Battle Royale or whatever is all like free with my subscription.
Oh, fuck
like
yeah.
the type of tier, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, hey, like, subscribe, follow. If you want to write into the show, you can leave a comment on a YouTube video, or you can email us at savescummerspodcast@gmail.com. I would love to add a segment of reading questions. Oh, you just got a
Dead Space.
Dead Space remake is on your wish list?
On sale.
Damn, I wonder how much they're selling it for.
Let's find out. Real life.
And this is on the PlayStation Network.
$27.99.
Dude.
60% off.
$28 for Dead Space Remake. I'm wearing my fucking Dead Space shirt right now.
Yeah.
Dude.
I'm going to buy it.
That game is so fucking good. Are you seriously buying it right now?
I will when I get home. But yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. That game is so good. I only played through it once, and I do want to revisit it. I think around Halloween, like in the month of October, I'm going to fucking go all out.
Hell yeah.
I think I'm going to play The Evil Within.
Ooh. I've played the first one, yeah. I really want to play the second one.
Yeah, I want to play both, but because I'm just a fan of Tango Gameworks.
Yeah. I'm dying.
Ghostwire Tokyo was so good. Underrated.
Oh, dude.
Talk about a fucking AA like experience. It was really fucking good. But yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And yeah.
You can find me, Kermat17.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm not important. No,
we're all over the fucking place today.
There's another thing I wanted to ask because I didn't know if that would be a topic for this show, but I'll ask when the cameras are off, and it might be for next show.
Ooh. Okay.
But KIRMAT17. Still haven't posted anything, but hit me up, ask me questions about Warhammer or whatever. It might be. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see. I still got to get off my butt and clean my little painting area to make it a real studio.
Hell yeah.
Like thing. So, but yeah, that's all for me. That's my plug.
Cool. Peace.